Good morning, everyone. It's Rick. It is June 16, 2018. If you would like to communicate with me, you can do so by emailing me at rick 0327 at me.com. Okay, I communicate by email only. I do not speak on the phone. I have legal reasons for that. Okay, so the last video we were talking about, how to handle yourself in court and how you have to be aggressive, you have to be careful, you have to assert your rights, invoke your rights, protect your rights, don't back down. Okay, the problem being is from many of us are younger than 50. So many of us grew up watching television, all right, watching shows like The People's Court, Judge Judy, things like that, and also, shows like Law and Order, where the judge is the God, and, everybody has to bow to the God. Now, listen, I understand showing respect, but respect is supposed to work both ways. Now, when somebody is trying to injure me, and we know from Supreme Court cases, specifically Lujan versus Defenders of Wildlife, you have many types of injuries. All right, you could be injured financially, you could be injured emotionally, okay, you could be injured physically. So as long as you have proof of an injury, you can petition a court and bring forth the case, and it works, adversely. And if there is no evidence of an injury, they cannot bring a case against you. Okay. All right. So let me get to some good news. All right. Is some successes. Okay. And the reason why I do this, is it's a pain in the ass for me to show you guys. I got a cat underneath my legs. It's a pain in the ass for me to show you the screen with the email, and I gotta uh, block out, private information. Okay. So what I do is I cut and I paste the email. Okay. And this is from Dean. All right. Dean's employer is no longer taking the money out of his check, which is, to me, it's the same as winning in court. Okay. See, child support is nothing more than a debt collection. It's all they are. Okay. And I'm sure many of you have been involved in debt collection with a credit card. In these times, financial times, people have problems with credit cards, and the credit card companies come after you. But if you think about it, they don't have the same power as a credit card agency. They can't send a forged instrument to your employer and scare your employer to take the money out of your check the same way a child support agency can. But it's the same thing. Okay, basically the same laws apply. Okay, so when you get the employer to realize that nothing's going to happen to them if they stop sending the money, then you won the battle. Then the next thing they'll do is go after your driver's license, and then you got to take care of that as well. And when you block off all their avenues of stealing your money, they're screwed. All right, and that's where we're getting to. Okay, we're getting there. You know, what my paperwork does, I just had somebody do it. I'm going to show you. He's in here, and Richard, I believe is, oh no, Edward. And what they do is, if you take them to court, and that's what I'm having you guys do. There's a couple of ways of doing it. You could do a writ of mandamus, or you could just go to court and petition a cease and desist. And I'm leaning towards that these days because, these judges are so friggin' corrupt, They have absolutely no respect for us. You know, like when I was a cop, I used to do drug interdiction, and there'd be these mules passing by, and my job was, that was my thing, was to, I knew they had drugs on them, and I had to get them. Now, I also showed respect to the mule. This is just me now. Again, this doesn't apply to everybody. I'm just giving you one of these Rick stories, and this Rick story is that if I ran across a mule that knew his rights or her rights, guess what? They not a free pass. They got a pass because I'm not gonna uh, go to a grand jury and lie through my teeth just so I can get an ounce or two of crack off somebody. Okay, it's not that important to me. I'm not gonna look to get myself indicted. And I listen. I work with plenty of guys that did that. They would just take the drugs off the guy and then make up a story after. That wasn't me. I wasn't into that stuff. Anyway, like these judges, how about showing us a little respect that, we came into their court prepared, learning the law. Instead, they just, they're bullies. They'll just dismiss the writ of mandamus for some BS. So anyway, just going to court and filing a petition, whether, for a writ of mandamus, to prohibit the employer from sending your money, or a cease and desist to your employer to cease seizing your money, and desist, stop. Um, and when you do that, you know what happened with Ed was his employer stopped because they don't want to go to court. See, here's what happens. It works both ways. That your employer will send your money because they don't want to go to court with the child support agency because the child support agency is threatening them. But it it works the other way. Well, now you're actually going to take them to court, and you actually have grounds. What's the matter, you? Come here. Look at that. That's Fluff the cat. He's my neighbor's cat, but he's over here by me more than he's over there. I told you guys I love animals. I love helping. I like how I love animals. I just like helping people. It just makes me feel good. I guess I'm addicted to helping all living creatures. Anyway, the um, the child support agency, they don't have any grounds to do anything to your employer. They think they do, but now here's another thing. Also, let's say your employer is forced to go to court. Your employer's attorneys are going to be forced to defend the employer, which is a good thing. They'll actually learn, do their job and realize that the orders are void. This is actually a good thing, like, so before they go to court, usually an attorney working for your employer will be like, oh yeah, just send the money, you have to do it, which that's just because they're lazy and they don't want to be bothered. It's easier for them to just, because again, lawyers are sociopaths, most of them. They have no compassion for people, none. They just, they have this sickness where they just see money, okay? They just see money that belongs in their pocket. I mean, look at all these athletes out there. Football, baseball, basketball. All these guys. Who have children out of wedlock, and they all go. They're all bankrupt because these lawyers eat them alive. They just grab pieces of their fortune. How many athletes out there you heard of that are bankrupt because they're paying child support? How much money does a child need when you're rich, really? You know what I'm saying? What's his name? Actually, won his case years ago. It was 50 Cent, and I learned a lot from him. And he won his case in New York because he had a kid with a woman, and she wanted like $1 million a year for one of his kids, and his the state law is um, the cap was say $140,000. That's the cap. Whether you're rich or, so let's say you make $150,000. They're only allowed to take a percentage up to 140,000. So let's say 50 Cent makes 50 million. That applies to him as well. They're only supposed to take a percentage. Like say it's one child, so it would be 17% for $140,000. Even though let's say 50 Cent made 50 million last year, right? That's the way it's supposed to work. But instead, these lawyers don't fight that. They'll just cave in, and that's how these guys end up broke. All right. So again, saying that maybe an employer would actually, the attorney would actually have to be forced to prove that the child support affidavit or income withholding order has no teeth. All right, enough. All right, let's get to this real fast. All right, this is Dean, one of my guys, been with me for a while. Finally, this is back in May. Okay, my boss asked me a slew of questions. Then the office secretary called me and said they couldn't stop it this week. Okay, but it stopped. Beautiful, good job. Okay, this is Stewie and his wife Leah, right? Actually, excuse me, it's Leah and Nate. Okay, they're in Florida now, but they had a case in Nebraska, and he filed my paperwork, and it's over. I mean, that part is over. They're still fighting in Florida, but that's one less thing they have to worry about. Lionel's been with me for a while, okay, and Lionel just won. I just got this yesterday. Case dismissed with prejudice. Okay, that's good. It means it's over, done, goodbye. Okay, and, this is from Lionel. Here's a good one. Case was dismissed for extrinsic fraud. That means outside fraud, interference. So here's something to pay attention to. And this is the thing with these people. I have you guys do things sometimes. It might seem like overkill, but I've been doing this for a while. And it's just to make sure that you don't give them a reason to dismiss the case. One thing, as I tell you guys, always serve the other side with copies and do an affidavit of service. You must do an affidavit of service with all your court filings, okay? Because they'll look for any reason to dismiss your case. Anyway, in this thing here, he didn't put down the I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct, which is BS. It's not necessary. It's not. Let's put it this way: it's not a reason to to dismiss the case and have this guy still paying child support. But that's what they do. Okay, that's what they do. So maybe it might be worth it for you guys to add that at the bottom of my paperwork. All right. This is Ed. He just had his employer stop taking the money. Okay. Receipt of garnishment, stop order. Submitted the paperwork. He received the email this morning. Where is it? I don't have it. It's actually. This is credit. I'm having people doing really well with my credit paperwork, which is like one page. But see here, credit, Office of the Attorney General. This item was removed from your credit because they were taking the child support under the medical provision. Like they claim you have to provide medical for your offspring, so they removed it for that. Okay, and that was this one. I didn't. That was Gary. That's Gary Martin. Good man. That's one of my pit bulls. They're all these guys are pit bulls. Okay, so this is here we go. People's success. All right, and I have another one I can't find. I wanted to show you guys. Really good one, but I can't find it. All right, so there's proof for you guys that my paperwork is, again, I cannot make guarantees. I wish I could. I wish I could, but I cannot. We're dealing with some, really crooked people. Okay. All right. So here's something I want to talk about. All right. When you guys are in court, most of the time, there's an attorney on the other side doing all the talking for the, for the mother. Or if you're if, like Donna Ellison is one to point out. Hi, Donna. Tell you guys that it's not just, it's not just men. Don is a nurse, and Don is getting hammered. All right, so she wanted everybody to know that not just men are getting hurt, women are too. So it's a shout out to Donna. Um, and the thing is that statements by attorneys are not facts before the court. But who does all the talking in the court? The attorneys. Now, unless there's, uh, you know, witness testimony, the way it's supposed to work is the mother or the child of the parent, I mean the parents of the offspring, is supposed to be questioned, and then it's supposed to introduce evidence proving that you're not supporting your child. That's the way it's supposed to work. And how often does that happen? Hardly ever. All right. So this is an objection. Okay. It's an adjudicated fact. Trinzi versus Pagliaro, Pennsylvania, presented by the undersigned. Here's something I had one guy make this mistake. Guys, please, common sense. If I have, usually when things are in brackets, it's instructions. So I'll have in the brackets, type in your name, right? So when you type in your name, remove the brackets. Come on, guys. That one guy didn't do that. So he's submitting the paperwork with his name in brackets because he didn't, I didn't tell him to remove the brackets. At some point, common sense has got to, rear its ugly head. Okay, guys, I cannot think of everything. I had one guy also complaining about, oh, your instructions are very general. I cannot give you detailed instructions because every area, every state is different. So if I give detailed instructions for, let's say, New York, they may not apply in California. I have to keep it general on purpose. Okay? It's up to you to learn what's, Google your area. Okay? All right. So again, if an attorney is going on and blabbering during the support proceeding, objection, unsworn testimony. If the attorney wishes to speak, the attorney needs to be sworn in. The attorney is a third party. The attorney is not a first person witness. Okay? When you do that, they're going to know that you did your homework. Okay? They're going to know you did your homework. All right? And before everybody starts hammering me, hey, Rick, can you send this to me? No, you could type it up yourself. Okay? Here's another thing I offer with my paperwork. You see this template? This is a template. All of you who get my paperwork, you have this. Okay? And all you do is you create it, you type, it's really easy. And then as soon as you click save as, you give it a title, guess what? You still have your template. These templates don't go away. It's not a one-time use, throw away. Once I give you the template, it's yours. It stays with you. So you can create your own paperwork. That's another benefit that I give you guys. I mean, again, it's my paperwork. Of course I'm gonna talk it up, but it's really good. All right. I mean, I'm shocked myself what I've created. A guy, I mean, look at my stupid name on my channel. Rick W. If I would have known this would happen, I would have came with a little better name. I'm a little more creative. That's why I made my meme with the Superman with my laser beams coming out of my eyes. But not exactly a creative name. It's me. I'm an Osiris. The Liquid Theory is a good name. I mean, I got Rick W. But hey, my paperwork is really, really good. Okay, and I just showed you guys, people are winning. People are winning. All right, so there, those of you out there, here it is. Freeze it. Okay, freeze it. Here's another thing. You must invoke your Article 4 full faith and credit clause and your privileges and immunity clause. It's a good idea to do that. Basically when you start and you before the court and you say, I am invoking all of my rights, you could actually say, I'm invoking my privileges. I said it the other day. What did I say? I said my rights and privileges. I'm not perfect, guys. There could be a YouTube channel out there just destroying my my verbal mistakes. I'm good for destroying some words here and there. But what are you gonna do? I'm not a professional. But this works. All right. So it is a conclusion of law under the full faith and credit clause under Article 4, Section 1 of the Constitution for the United States that full faith and credit of public records by judicial proceedings must be honored by every other state. So that means, where is it? Come on. Oh, here it is. What a dummy. It's right in front of me. Stupid Rick. Right here. Trinzi versus Pagliaro. Now, that shows you these friggin' judges are nothing but tricksters with their black robes. They're nothing but, what are they? They're priests. Okay? Isn't it funny how priests wear black, the judges wear black? Again, I stay away from that stuff, but I watch the same videos a lot of you watch. I'm down with all the New World Order stuff and all that other stuff. I've watched all the same videos. You know, that they were born. They borrow money against our name. I know all that stuff. The Rome, the Vatican runs there's the three arms. You got the Vatican, you got the Bank of England, and then you have the mill. So the military is us in Washington D.C. You got the religious to deceive people, which is of Rome, the Vatican and Rome, and then you have the Bank of the World, which is the Bank of London. All right, and all three of them are their own land. 10 by 10, their own land, their own sovereign state. Okay, people don't know that. Like people are like, why come Washington D.C. is not a state? Well, that's why. All right, so that means Trinzi versus Pagliaro, even though it's in Pennsylvania, under the full faith and credit, must be honored in other states. Okay, so in the past I've had people cite Holmberg versus Holmberg out of Minnesota that says that the child support is a violation of separations of powers doctrine in the Minnesota Supreme Court. And who was it? It was my man, upstate New York. Christ, God forgive me. Anyway, the judge goes, well, that was Minnesota. We're in New York, okay? And he didn't come back with well, objection, judge. It's an adjudicated fact and a conclusion of law under the full faith and credit clause that this court is supposed to honor the public records and decisions from other state tribunals or state courts. You want to get fancy, you say state judicial tribunals. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to end the video there. All right. So let's congratulate our fellow subscribers. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me just show this real fast. All right. Here's what you guys got to do when you're in court also. There's a lot of things you got to cover. I'm sorry. It's just, a lot of things that can help us. Where can the court prove that I am not supporting my child? Can the court prove that my child, my offspring, is in imminent danger, or imminent the safety is in imminent danger? That's the only time they're allowed to interject the state, and that's under this case here, Troxel versus Granville. Okay. The Supreme Court has held that the rights of parents to make decisions concerning the care, custody, and control of their children is a fundamental liberty Okay, so when that's interfered with, what do we file? Writ of habeas corpus. Okay. Um, okay. The Troxel Court further explained that so long as a parent adequately cares for his or her children, there will normally be no reason for the state to inject itself into the private realm of the family to further question the ability of that parent to make the best decisions concerning the rearing of that parent's children. Also, there's I don't have it with me because I didn't know I was going to go in this direction, but there's and you can find it on the the Father's Right channels. Father's what is it? Fathers Unite channel. That fathers divorced, or just fathers in general, even if you don't live there, you have the same rights as if you were living in under the roof. So a father has the same rights as a father that lives with the child. They cannot. So that's the thing. They and the divorce. I just sent. Where is it? Let me. I'm proud of this document. Look at this. All right, hold on real fast. It's funny. I show that channel. Things get a little nutty. Real fast. Where is it? Oh. Declaration of Rights. I do for anyway. I'm not going to show it. I can't anyway. It'll take too long. Declaration of Rights. When you're getting divorced, the state has no, and the judge in the state has absolutely no jurisdiction to saddle you. That's what they do. They do all this bullshit for the best interest of the child, and they're not allowed to. Remember, without proof that you're not taking care of the child's in imminent danger, the state can't inject itself. So you're allowed to declare your rights. Like you can't force me to pay child support. You can't tell me when and where I can see my child or my offspring. That's what they do with these divorce orders. Okay, and they're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to object, and you're allowed to file an objection of a final divorce decree. A lot of people don't do it because they're led along by their lawyer, their liar. All right. Let me see here. I just sent it to somebody. Somebody sent me some money, going through a divorce, and I sent them the. Listen, I'll be here all day. All right, I'm gonna end this video. All right, guys. So I showed you guys people. Their money's not coming out of their check. Uh, the credit's cleaned up. Dismissal. All right, that's not bad. So it's proof my paperwork when it's applied, and you run into people that are actually fair. That we can get a dismissal and get our credit cleaned up, and your employer stops sending them money. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.